right, NAI football fans, this is Corey Thorpe here with another edition of the NAIFBALL live show, powered by AdCraft Custom Apparel and Merch, your custom apparel, merch, and uniform experts since 1974. And in through the door just walks the one, the only John Cooper, and we almost match. We're in red. We almost match. Got the Wakula and the those used to be Nike that highlighter green shorts.
Yeah, there you go.
Many moons ago.
What's up, guys?
All right, John, we've got a heck of a show here for the viewers tonight. You want to get started? Let's jump into this. We've got some scores to look at here. First off is going to be Morningside, Arizona Christian here, and like we said when we did our Twitter space on Saturday night, this was one that Arizona Christian showed a lot of heart in and just couldn't get it done against Morningside.
Yeah, absolutely. So Morningside, again, was without Joe Dolanchek. I believe it's the past 3 games now.
Yep.
Last 2 regular season, first round playoff. So they said they were just going to go ahead and put the game in the hands of their offensive line and Ryan Cole, who broke records Saturday, correct?
44 attempts.
Holy cow, I hope he got a great ice bath that Saturday night. Anyways, Morningside started out red hot, Corey.
They were going with the wind.
And then the third quarter, Arizona Christian said, enough is enough, and went out and scored some points there.
They did.
And made it a close game there entering the fourth quarter. Props to Arizona Christian. I didn't think it was going to be close at all.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it still ended up a 3-possession game.
Yeah, 17-point game.
3-possession game, but still, I was really impressed with Arizona Christian. Morningside's a juggernaut. We talk about them all the time, about what they've accomplished. I know you guys are probably tired of hearing that, but Tyler Duncan, he would have had to play flawless for Arizona Christian to win this game because we knew Arizona Christian wasn't going to be able to run the ball.
Right, and 18 of 42 ain't gonna cut it. Maurice Roquette, tried. He was the leading rusher with 11 yards.
Right,
and the leading receiver with 132.
Absolutely. So props to Arizona Christian. Morningside moves on as expected.
We'll have to see, and I'm sure that Papa Dolanchek is in the chat here, and I know good and well he ain't about to drop the health status in the chat. But just for the sake of good football,
yeah,
I really do hope we see Joe back out there at 100% on Saturday.
I've heard a little birdie that he will be back.
I hope so. Like I said, for good football.
I'm not going to say 100%, but I heard he's supposed to be back soon.
Like I said, it's not like I'm rooting for Morningside. I love good football, and
absolutely. And as an opponent, you want to beat the team at their full strength.
Right, exactly. If Arizona Christian had come out here and beaten them with, no offense, because I'm sure one of these two is a generational talent. We haven't figured it out yet.
Right.
Cale Bird and Lennox Brown, and Lennox was
absolutely.
a Brown.
Yeah.
I'm sure one of those is a generational talent because Morningside seems to get generational talents every 4 years.
Right.
But Cale Bird was 4'13", and Lennox Brown was basically Tim Tebow a la 2008.
Absolutely.
Boy, that's an old reference, and probably some of these guys aren't quite old enough.
14 years ago from his Heisman campaign, right? No, 2007.
Or no, was it 08 when he was behind?
08 was the national championship. 07 he won his sophomore year when they went a 9-win season.
There was one where he was behind what's his face and was
Chris
just
Leak, 06.
Yeah, a run.
06.
Yeah, okay, that's what I'm talking about here. Cody says, "Good to see us both back in studio." It's good to be back in studio.
Is that Cody Bauer, Marion, right there? Yeah,
that's Cody Bauer, Cody Bauer.
Good to see you, man.
Dale Norton.
In the chat.
Man, you want to talk about a close one? Grandview and Carroll was a close one.
Somebody in the comments told us that Carroll was going to win. I kind of laughed it off a little bit.
They weren't wrong.
They had it down to a pat. And, This is the second game this season that Grandview has won by a field goal, basically. I mean, just scoring margin.
Yeah, and so really and truly on this, it was Grandview's ability to stay on the field. They were 8 of 16 on third and fourth down
Right.
conversions, whereas Carroll was only 6 for 20. You're able to stay on the field 20% more, basically, at that point. It's really hard to score points when your offense isn't on the field.
I think bottom line, Corey, is that the Frontier, needs to be respected. We talk about throughout the season how they're top to bottom, one of the toughest. A lot of parity in that conference. Just because they're at a low number of teams compared to other conferences, the Frontier just need to watch out for. Just because, one, you got Carroll, who's I feel like always going to be good. You had Southern Oregon, who hasn't been good lately, but
they just got a new head coach.
Yes, 9 years away from a national championship win.
Yeah.
Rocky Mountain's still looking stellar over there. They were outside looking in the playoffs. I think this shows a lot about Frontier Conference football.
You know who the real winner?
Champion went in.
You know who the real winner is out of these first two games?
Who's
the
that?
Commissioner of the Frontier Conference, who sees Arizona Christian.
Yes.
Just taking on Morningside, and goes, they're mine in a couple years.
I'm sure he probably wants to pick up Ottawa, Arizona while he's at it.
I would
Might
too.
as well get two.
I would too. But heck of a game. We'll see if Grandview is able to bounce back. I feel like they do this to us every year. Third was not a close game. Northwestern quickly dispatches Dickinson State.
Yeah.
That game is over in 10 minutes.
Really quick. We talked about Gramstad. The key to the game for Dickinson State was to stop him from using his feet. And, he did anything he wanted to do.
Right.
But 3 rushing touchdowns, that was huge for them. And the fact that they just stayed on the field the whole time.
Right. Almost 40 minutes time of possession is
Right.
absolutely absurd. No wonder Dickinson State wasn't able to score but 7. But the big one, the big upset.
Yeah, I believe, I was keeping up this one close. Bethel was up 17-14. I thought they were going to ice it. Then Kaiser, hits a big field goal, I think. Or maybe it was a touchdown. Then the field goal was the last one. I know Kaiser got a late interception.
Yeah.
A late interception. I think both teams were – this was playoff football to a T to me.
100%.
Kaiser just finished the game. That was key for them. They finished down in the fourth quarter, but they finished the game.
4 turnovers for Bethel you can't give the other team 4 extra possessions in a football game.
Credit to Kaiser. And, they had a different running back.
Yeah, Jaden Meisinger, 28 attempts, 166 yards. That Kaiser
different
team,
premier running back. Sorry,
right? Marcus Burgess is their normal guy, but
Yeah.
Jaden Meisinger's just.
He was the hot hand Saturday.
Yeah, and look, Kaiser's stable is deep. They always have a giant stable. Their offensive line is one of the best in the NAIA.
Yeah.
Just with that zone blocking scheme, they're lethal.
We talked about Kaiser being the most battle-tested team in the NAIA, playing 2 Division II teams, perennial Division II, playing an FCS team. They're undefeated in NAIA play. I'm eager to see how they continue for their playoff run. As for Bethel, I don't see them letting up in the Mid-South.
Yeah.
I think they'll be back next year.
We'll have to see. That's something that we'll go into afterwards when we start looking at our All-American or All-Conference picks, rather. Indiana Wesleyan Avila was another close one, a la Grandview Carroll, but credit Indiana Wesleyan here.
How about neither quarterback really able to get anything going?
Look, you've got 170 some odd yards, 175 yards between the two. It was just no one was able to do much of anything. Darian Williams for IWU was able to eat up, a lot of that. Credit Indiana Wesleyan's defense.
Well, both defenses, really.
Well, that is true.
I mean,
but
yeah. How about, the running game for Indiana Wesleyan, putting them over the top. But congratulations. This was the last thing I'll say about this game. Congratulations for both teams for making the playoffs or playing a playoff game for the first time. I know Indiana Wesleyan is their second go. But congratulations, Indiana Wesleyan, for their first playoff win. congratulations to Avila for turning it around to what they were.
I think when you look at the KCAC, and yes, they're going to go to two divisions next year.
Right.
They're going to have that 12th team, and yeah, as long as both are in the top 20, we're not going to have this sort of brouhaha
Right.
about and we're talking about maybe getting a third KCAC team in at that juncture, even more strongly. But the KCAC has more parity, especially at the top, than it's ever had in as long as we've covered it.
Right. Well, the top 4 teams are something special, and I think they're going to have one or two more kind of join up.
I agree. That's going to be look, if they play their cards right, they could rise through the ranks and start to rival the Mid-South and the MSFA in a few years.
Sure.
They are definitely putting in the investment to play at that level.
I agree. When you go to the next game, I'm going to answer a comment somebody said. Will the NAIA separate Northwestern and Morningside until the championship game, or will they play in the semis again? Just to give a quick answer, I personally think it's going to be the semis again. I would love for it to be a national title, but we'll see. It would be cool if Grandview got matched up with one of them in the semis.
Here's the thing. Let's say we have chalk, and you have Morningside, Grandview, Northwestern, and Indiana Wesleyan. All 4 of those teams are within 800 miles of each other.
Sure.
So you could ostensibly keep your seeding straight.
Yeah.
Just like they did this round, they kept the seeding straight with Kaiser being your quasi-8. You were able to keep now, yes, they flip-flopped Lindsay and Marion.
Yeah.
But those two are already 6 and 7 right there.
Correct.
So you flip-flop those so that you don't have to have the flight there for someone to go, for Lindsay to go out. And then Benedictine and Indiana Wesleyan is a 4-5 matchup. Yeah. If you get chalk, and even if there is a modicum of upsets, let's say you've got a Marion and a Benedictine upset, Morningside, Grandview, Marion, Benedictine are all within 800 miles of each other. You could still keep seeding.
Yeah.
That
would be nice.
That would be really, really nice. But yes, they do both have to win first. Benedictine won in just resounding fashion. Garrett Kettle's
the second
dude.
Dominating team of the day. The biggest scoring margin of victory besides Northwestern.
Yep.
And senior quarterback Garrett Kettle.
Well,
you're right. Just absolutely
you're forgetting one, but that's okay.
Who?
Marion St. Xavier.
Yeah. Whoops.
I mean, this one was.
Sorry, Roger.
I don't want to say this was over early because it wasn't.
Right.
But Benedictine just kept prying that margin of victory open, and they had an absolutely.
I think the key to a lot of these games are, one, the turnovers.
Yeah.
Number 2 is that big one in the bottom right there is the 3rd and 4th down conversions. If you cannot get the chains moving, Corey, it's just going to be a bad day in their point total.
And here's the thing for Southwestern. Benedictine was just living in the backfield with 5 sacks and 7 tackles for loss. So Southwestern was in 3rd and longs a whole lot on the day, and it's really hard to convert 3rd and long.
You're right.
So credit to Benedictine. I mean, this is a team that just 2.5 years ago had an offense straight out of 1980.
Yeah.
And they have modernized their offense with the guys that they pretty much had there from Larry Wilcox and are a strong contender for a natty.
Yeah, we'll see if it keeps going. They looked impressive.
You know who else looked impressive was Zach Bundelow, Ben Stevens, and the Marion offense.
Yeah, I was talking to Roger earlier on Discord. I know he's in the chat right here. Just how disappointed I am in St. Xavier. The 3 high-quality teams they played this year, which was, St. Thomas, who didn't make the playoffs, who's mad as a hornet that St. Xavier made it, which, St. Xavier had no control of. They did what they needed to qualify as a conference champion. It just is what it is. If they're going to be mad, they might as well be mad at Dickinson State, too.
You're not wrong.
They had St. Thomas, and then they had D2 Indianapolis, and then Marion. The 3 best teams they played this year all three they laid eggs against. They scored 17 total points in those 3 games.
This is why when we talk about the Mid-States Midwest,
Yeah.
the league is very even top to bottom.
Right.
But this season there was no true high-end team.
In the Midwest.
In the Midwest,
Okay.
yeah.
Midwest.
The parity was there. From top to bottom, they were very there. But to borrow a phrase from the kids these days, they were all mid.
What about Ben Stevens catching? Bundalo only threw the 50 yards to another receiver.
Yeah, I know.
Other
right?
receivers. The fact
Nobody
that he's
could
ate up
cover Ben
157
Stevens.
yards for all the touchdowns came to him. Absolutely crazy. And the Marion just no-fly secondary looked great. 4 interceptions and then 2 pick sixes. I would say Marion's got to be. I don't know if this statistic's measured by Presto, but Marion's got to be close to leading the NAI in pick sixes.
They've got to be. They set a program record. With that sixth pick six.
They gotta be.
And we'll look at their defense. It is highly rated by some advanced metrics as well. And Marion defense, man, we can't leave it without talking about them living behind the line of scrimmage. That was kind of a theme this week: 6 sacks and 9 tackles for loss.
Right.
And then the one that was a really
weird,
really nervy.
23-0 entering the 4th quarter. Reinhardt comes out of nowhere, scoring 3 touchdowns. The first 2 touchdowns they scored, their 2-point conversions. They convert. So it's 23-16.
Mm-hmm.
They score again under a minute left. I believe there's 17 seconds left in the game. And they failed the last 2-point conversion to win. This would have been the ultimate meltdown, maybe in college football history, if Lindsey Wilson would have lost this game.
The final 7 minutes and 4 seconds. That's when the first scoring drive for Reinhardt started. It was 7:04 left in the 4th quarter.
That's insane. It's like fast break basketball.
And if it was going to be any team, I would have never have picked it to have been Reinhardt to have done it.
And I saw them run tempo earlier in the year, especially against Faulkner. So they have it.
They just don't like to pull it out.
Well, I don't know about that, but just crazy. Imagine if they would have just played that way at least half that good in the other 3 quarters.
Oh, my gosh,
They might win this game easily. But credit to Lindsey Wilson. They got off to the fast start. Or not the fast start, but the fact that they were the consistent start for the first 3 quarters. They did enough on the last play to make it fail.
With a big 95-yard pick six there. It was really a week for pick sixes.
Right, absolutely.
So, just an absolute great week. And we will be back after this message from our friends at AdCraft.
So you want to create and sell custom merch for your team or business. That's exciting, but where do you begin? How much inventory should you order? How do you distribute orders? AdCraft has your answers. Streamline the way you offer custom merch by utilizing our risk-free web store service. We ship directly to each customer, and we have the fastest turnaround in the game. Raise funds for your team or get merch to your employees and patrons. Contact AdCraft today, and let's bring your merch to life.
I figured we'd get done with all the advertisements kind of at one time here, just so we can get it done. There's no top 25 this week, but I still want to thank our friends at Leading Edge Fundraising. Now, I know this is Northern State. Northern State's D2.
D2, yeah.
Right, so you're talking about...
They kind of remind me of Montana State Northern, though.
They do. They're the same colors, it feels like. And they're...
the same mascot, right?
No, they're the MSU Northern's the Lights. But you've got 14 athletes on your women's basketball team. Raised almost $1,000 a person. Now, John, talk to me. How big's an NAI football roster?
It's about 100 plus once you get everybody.
If my math is right, those numbers look real good when you extrapolate.
Yes. So especially like a women's basketball roster who probably only has like 15 to 20.
Yeah, no, that was 14 athletes.
Yeah.
On that. So this stuff works. Hour-a-thon works. They have a profit guarantee for you I can't say much more. Go check out our friends at Leading Edge Fundraising, and we thank them for sponsoring our top 25 and for sponsoring our show. We got some players of the week. Obviously, the first one I think is pretty obvious. It's going to be Cramstad.
Yeah, like we said, he did whatever he wanted to do. Can't say enough good things about him.
I mean, whenever you get 5 touchdowns.
I don't think next week against Marion he's going to be able to do whatever he wants to do. But
yeah,
we'll see.
It's one of those where you know good and well that they're paying attention to this, and they're going, you're not going to get away with that. The other one was Devin Holmes, Lindsey Wilson, linebacker, 7 tackles, 2.5 for loss, a sack, a forced fumble, and an interception. That is the
That's a lot on the stat sheet.
That's the quadfecta I'm looking for when I go looking for players of the week. The only other one I'd look for would be double-digit tackles to make the quinfecta.
Yeah. Especially when you get 2 turnovers.
That is huge to do. So let's take a look at what we've got coming up this week. I really like the seeding makes sense. And I can't always say that for a quarterfinal matchup,
right.
But the seeding makes sense for this week. Being able to, the one that you had, you could fly them fairly easily. So you've got Morningside versus Kaiser there. Now, Kaiser or Morningside has not been first in SP Plus for pretty much the majority of the year. SP Plus has really been in love with Lindsey Wilson.
Right.
But they have gained their rank in the metrics. They have the first overall ranked offense and the 16th ranked defense. Kaiser at 9 is the lowest SP Plus team remaining with a 40th ranked offense and a 7th ranked defense.
I will say if Dolanchek does not play, I think Morningside is on major upset alert. I don't think they're going to be able to bully Kaiser's front 7 on defense like they did Arizona Christian.
Look, the Florida boys are a little different.
A little different.
The Florida DBs are a little different.
But we'll see. Iowa cornbread offensive linemen.
That's true,
can
too.
They mash these Florida boys. And, I don't know. Kaiser's been a little different this year.
Maybe they're getting hot at the right time.
I'm going to go with Morningside for the win, but I really would not be surprised if anyone did it Kaiser.
This is a must-watch game.
I'd say this is probably Morningside's toughest second-round game in a long time.
Yeah, especially if you don't know who's starting at quarterback.
And I will say this. If Dolanchek plays, they win by 3+ touchdowns.
Yeah,
I will say that.
I
but
mean,
if he does not play, they're in major upset alert.
Yeah, I'm taking Morningside on this one, especially if Dolanchek plays. I think that I'd put Morningside, having seen them both.
Yeah.
Valdosta did have some big ol' offensive linemen,
right.
But the level of play was roughly equal, all things considered.
I'll say Morningside would beat Valdosta.
This year, you're not wrong.
Yeah. This year, yeah.
The second one is going to be Grandview and Lindsay. Lindsay's 5th overall now slipped a little bit. Grandview is tied for 3rd. Grandview's offense is ranked 20th. Defense is ranked 4th. Lindsay's offense is 11th, and defense is ranked 10th. So the most balanced offense and defensive squad we've got
I've
left.
been trending backwards on Lindsay for a little bit, but I think they're just that scrappy team. And, with Grandview having that tough first-round game, I think this is going to be – I think every quarterfinal game and from the playoffs on is going to be a war. I don't see any other games being a 3-possession game at this point.
Now, here's the question. Do you get the 95-yard Johnny Sullivan this week, or do you get the ripping you open for 4 touchdowns in the first quarter Johnny Sullivan that we saw against Lindsey Wilson last year?
I'm going with Grandview. I think Johnny Sullivan gets it going.
He's got to. I mean, you've got Ali Scott back there that's doing good work. Rocky Schenfelder, that's just everywhere you want to be.
There's levels to this, and I think Grandview is just on a higher level than Lindsay.
I would tend to agree with you. Lindsay likes to start slow, and has this year, if Grandview can start fast like they did last year
Yeah.
against Lindsay, this one will be over by halftime.
I don't think Lindsay's offense is going to have much success against Grandview's defense. So that means Lindsay's defense better be ready to play if they want to win this game.
There is no look, Ethan Cash is a good quarterback,
Right.
but he's not quite the replacement that you would hope for.
No.
Hard
to replace Cameron Dukes.
It is hard to replace Cameron Dukes. My man's sitting there ripping up the Daggum Arena League.
Well, tell us of the rematch right here.
More rematches. I love rematches. Northwestern versus Marion does it again. Marion is third, tied overall in SP+. Northwestern is second overall. Northwestern has the 10th ranked offense and the 5th ranked defense. Marion has the 26th ranked offense, and you guessed it, after all them turnovers, the number 1 ranked defense in SP+. You know, Bundalo could be getting hot at the right time.
Well, you know, if you got a dominant receiver like he did, that can get all your production like last week.
You're not wrong.
You know, honestly, I'm not comfortable picking a winner yet.
You're not.
I wanna.
What are you going to pick then?
I think I want to wait. Can I wait?
I guess I'll let you wait. You got to pick sometime.
All right. I'll
you got to pick sometime.
I'll go ahead and pick. I'll pick.
I know.
am going to take the Marion Knights to revenge the loss from last year.
It's a good pick. That's a good pick.
On the road.
On the road.
You trying to defer your pick?
No, I'm reviewing Marion's season real quick in my head. I don't know that Marion has faced the high level of offense like Northwestern, where especially when you've got a dual threat quarterback.
Yeah, I can't think of a dual threat quarterback they would have faced up to this level.
At this level, I know they've got a really good defense. But give me Northwestern. I love me a dual threat quarterback, and I think that creates the dual threat quarterback is where Northwestern's offense really thrives. You saw it with Koima. Now you're seeing it with Gramstad. I love you, Blake Fryer, but Gramstad runs a little bit faster. So, hey, we actually are picking differently this week. How about that? And then our last matchup, Indiana Wesleyan, 8th overall in SP+, with a 39th ranked offense, 2nd ranked defense, faces off against the Benedictine Ravens with the 6th ranked offense and the 22nd ranked defense.
So what's interesting about this one is they both were matched up against KCAC teams.
Mm-hmm.
Avila beat Southwestern.
Mm-hmm.
Correct?
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to remember. Okay.
Because Bethel beat Avila.
I wonder if you're looking, just off the top of my head.
Right.
I'm looking at the scoring margin here. Do you think a little transitive property may play in face to give us a key that, common opponents technically right here.
Right.
Because of that, and because of the level Garrett Kettle is playing at, and because of what I saw Xander Stokes from last week just didn't look as his normal self, I'm going with Benedictine.
Dadgummit, man, you're going to steal my answer. Look, it's been many, many moons ago since our first run through the playoffs.
Right.
In which this boy who knew nothing about NAIA football caught the coattails of the Benedictine Ravens and rode them to Daytona. I'm going there again. I love what I see from Benedictine. They've got a great rushing attack. Again, like I said, I'm a sucker for a dual threat quarterback. I think their offense, like Northwestern's, understands what to do with that extra gap.
Right.
And how to get up to the next level. And again, I don't know that Indiana Wesleyan has faced anything similar to that this season. Dual threat quarterbacks just really aren't a thing in the Mideast.
Right. No, you're right.
And I think that that does it there. In as much as they say defense wins championships, I do think Benedictine is undervalued in SP Plus.
Right.
I think they have been all season. I'm taking the Ravens to pull the upset. The bird gets away from the cat this time.
The bird beats the undefeated Cats.
The NAI
Yeah.
undefeated Cats,
There you
but John, my favorite part of this is coming. It really is the patrons. We've got more patrons now
Right.
than we've ever had in our history.
We're growing. We're a family.
Absolutely, and we are so thankful for those patrons, especially the ones that hang on after
season.
4 and after 4 years
Well,
when their kid's done.
Absolutely. I'm trying to look for the name up there. If I saw it, I would.
If it ain't up there, it ain't there.
Yeah, I know. It's up there. I'm trying to look for it. But go ahead.
But so that's really the thing. One I want to call out is Stephen Dale. Send us some Tex West stuff. I'll be getting yours to you. Forgot to bring
Tex West. Yeah, you better believe I'll be sporting some Tex West.
Versatile Style says there's 30-mile-an-hour winds of the IWU games while the quarterbacks didn't throw.
Oh, okay. Well,
just aim differently,
Yeah. I don't know. I've seen some guys through some tropical storm winds down here.
You're dang right.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, though. You're going to have to give some of your weight to me.
Somebody said, watch this weekend. I'm watching it, baby.
You're going to have to give some of your weight to me because they sent us an extra large and a 2XL. So
2XL, man. I've done lost 60. I'd have to lose another 60 to fit.
About to say, you're going to have to give some to me so I can fit that XL. But thank you so much, Stephen. I love it. They're gorgeous shirts.
We appreciate that.
So thank you so much to DSU Cone. Versatile South says, sure. Darren, Bob Boone, Roger Meyer, Jeremy Vauble, Shirley Labella, Fred Christensen, Alex Garcia, Jerry Quickle, Cordell, Ace Wellen, Marty Seabolt, Justin Cobb, Dane, Nick Ryan, Hayden Freno, Kyle Gregory, Tyler Pierce, Justin Hoffman, Steve Speakman, Coach D67, Brian Shake, Lance DeMond, Frank Dolenchek, Julianne Shager, Nate Sutbeer, Stephen Cutler, Stephen Dale, Bolterama, Julie Lout, Fred Bays, Tim Burrow, Dale Norton. Just thinking about it, I was looking at it. DSU Cone and Darren have been with us since 2018 and 2019.
I feel like DSU Cone's been there since 2017.
He is the OG.
At least he's been talking with us since 2017, since I first started it.
Yeah, he is the OG. And so we're very thankful for all of them. Y'all throw some comments in there. Let's do a little bit of fun. Let's look at one of the best parts of this time of the year, and I don't have all of them yet. Yeah. But is the all conference selections, and there's some eyes emojis that I've got going on. That I'm sitting here going, that's interesting. Bethel with 5 returning All-Americans. Lindsey Wilson with 8. Cumberland's with 4.
All conference or All-Americans?
All conference, sorry.
Okay.
The KCAC, Bethel with 5. Kansas Wesleyan with 5. McPherson with 5. Avila with 4. Friends in Southwestern each with 2. These are returning guys.
All right.
Hart North Grandview with 10. Peru State with 9.
Wow.
Culver Stockton with 8. Graceland with 6.
We're told to watch out for Graceland.
GPAC Northwestern with 9. Morningside with 6. Dort with 5.
Wow.
Let's see. AAC, Reinhardt with 9. Bluefield with...
I'm assuming Tex West led the Sooner.
Well, you'll see in a minute. Reinhardt with 9. Bluefield with 12. Wow. Reinhardt with 9. Point with 7. Sooner, Sagu with 10.
Wow.
Tex West with 8. Langston leads the rest of the pack with 4.
Wow.
Mid-East Marion with 12, Concordia with 7, Indiana Wesleyan and Siena Heights with 6 each.
Guys, if you don't know, these are great indicators for next year if they're able to return these
Yeah,
all-conference guys.
this is why we track this. This is where you see. Wait, no, that was SAGU was last year. I don't have the Frontier yet this year, but the AAC is still correct, and the GPAC and Hart are still correct. Haven't gotten some of the rest in there, but yeah, I thought that was really interesting in the KCAC where you had 5-5-5.
Right.
For Friends in Avila, or Friends Southwestern and Tabor with 2. Southwestern's window might be closing on them a little bit here.
Right.
We'll have to see. And so I'll fill in some of the rest as I get them as they drop in. How about Olivet Nazarene taking it to SAGU
in
the Victory Bowl.
And then Weber taking it to their rivals of Crooked Lake over there.
Absolutely, 40-17.
Yeah, Hurricane makeup, I believe.
Absolutely, that was fun to have that nightcap. Well, I don't see any huge comments in here. So then for John Cooper, I am Corey Thorpe, and we are signing off.
See you guys.